Hi guys, can you hear me?
You guys are super prompt. Okay, we're going to open up the chat box. So if you guys want, please feel free to put questions and stuff in the chat box. And we'll just wait a minute or two extra for a few more to come in and join us. Two more. Cool. Okay, yeah, my watch doesn't quite say 6. Just short. Just short. It's clear. Okay. Nope, no one. Oh.
Slow.
As we're about to get ready, we have a few more people joining us. Cool. Good to go, I think. I'll just keep an eye on the
David, you got Zoom or PC?
waiting room. Check. Cool. Thank you everyone for joining us. We are super, super excited to have you all here. So as you know, we have finding your happy and engaging in abundance mindset.
This one seems very fast.
It's probably something
So just send it to Alex
at the moment.
And then
I know there's lots of people who are rather in a place of scarcity just because of what's going on at the moment. So we want to take that, we want to shift it for you. So I think some introductions. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jacqui Meyer. I am an intuitive and spiritual life coach for women, particularly for working women. And my aim in life is just to help women to be the best version of themselves. So I'm Bronwyn. Jacqui was my coach, is. Helped me out of a little bit of stuck space, and look at us, sit together. So I am a financial coach. I'm also a chartered accountant. So she knows her money. Yeah, I know my money. I also know what it looks like when it goes really bad. I know my friend Sharon is with us, and she'll know exactly what I mean when I say that 20 years in accounting and sitting on the other side or the wrong side of the boardroom table and having to give people all the bad news after the fact with their financial statements, what went wrong or how much tax you have to pay if it went right, is never fun. And so, yeah, I decided it was actually better to walk a journey with my clients from the beginning and try and help them interpret what the stories were that got them there and how to change those stories to make it all look better. You don't pay your accountant to counsel you, but you do pay your coach. So, yeah, that's me. Thanks, Jack. Thank you. Okay, so guys, just to give you a bit of an idea, we have basically broken this masterclass up into 4 parts. So as you can see, we've got the gratitude component, abundance, which of course is what we're aiming towards, but a lot of that also we have mindsets, because you need to have the right mindset, and then prosperity. And you may think that abundance and prosperity may be the same thing, but not quite, which we'll deep dive and find out some more. Yeah. And then after that, we've got a bit of a surprise at the end as well for you. So stick around for the whole thing, and hopefully we can just push you over the line towards the edge there as well. Okay, so I thought that neuroplasticity, and just quickly explaining neuroplasticity, is one of the best places to start. Our brains are absolutely phenomenal, and one of the reasons why they're so phenomenal is because of neuroplasticity. And it is literally you being able to take your brain and rewire it. So having all these pathways that we normally function from and actually being able to rewire them. It is the most amazing thing. You'll often hear of people who've been in terrible accidents and they're like, okay, that person will never walk again. And they do manage to teach themselves to walk again. That is neuroplasticity in action. So I've got quite a nice little analogy here, which I like to use to explain neuroplasticity. You've got the nice open road, which of course is easy to take. And this is the well-worn road and the road that we obviously go to all the time. And what happens is if we want to change something, we've now got to create a new route. So now you can see on the other side is the little path through the woods. And the first time you take that path, it's going to be difficult. And the second time you take that path, it's going to be difficult. But if you keep taking that path, eventually what you will do is that will become the well-worn road rather than the old road which you've been using.
So yeah, that's kind of like our thoughts are on this highway all the time because we've been thinking the same thoughts all the time. So if you have the thoughts and it thinks it needs to get from A to B, it's going to take the highway.
Yeah,
because it's easier and it's quicker.
It's like your factory settings, the default settings.
And so you've actually got to get off of it.
Yeah. And it's a conscious thing. You actually have to consciously keep going and walking that route until it becomes the default.
Yeah.
So it does take some time and effort, but it is totally worth it.
So much. Cool.
Okay, my favorite subject. So any of you who follow me will know that gratitude is one of my favorite subjects. Gratitude, as Aesop says down there, basically turns what we have into enough. And if we can't be grateful for what you have now already, then you can't possibly be grateful for anything else that you're going to get. Practicing gratitude is simple. It is for free. You can do it anywhere. You can do it when you wake up in the morning. You can do it while you're brushing your teeth. You can do it when you're stuck in traffic. You can literally practice gratitude anywhere. And I think that's one of my favorite things about it. When I can turn all that upside down. Well, maybe the right way around, not upside down. But it does take practice. So it is a muscle. And the more that you use it, the easier this does become. And it's actually interesting because a lot of people have commented to me that I seem to talk about gratitude a lot. Like I feel blessed for that and I'm grateful for that. And it's gone from a place of being a conscious thinking and switching across to subconscious. And that is what we talk about, that neuroplasticity. First of all, you have to make the conscious move to keep going down that rugged path until it becomes the default. And then it becomes a subconscious you can shift across, which is really cool. And our brains can do this. It's so amazing. So practicing gratitude can literally rewire your brain. And it does a whole lot of things for you. You can have, it has an impact on your physiological health, which is you'll sleep better, you have less chance of depression, you will have increased joy hormones, being the serotonin and dopamine running through your system. And I mean, that's a quick fix. Like, you don't need to get that anywhere else when you can do this just by simply practicing gratitude. It boosts your self-esteem and also your empathy with other people and increases your EQ. So suddenly your whole world is not all about you and you-centric, but rather about the people around you. And it's amazing how that opens up and develops relationships and things too. So it's really, really great. Increasing physical health. This one is a really cool one too. Believe it or not, there's loads of research being done on this. And because gratitude can decrease the stress in your body, it will actually help with, we've got a bit of an echo.
No, I think it's it. Have you got would somebody just say in the chat if the audio is okay? I'm just looking at the chat.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. We want to make sure everyone's getting, your precious time is going to be worth it.
No, looks like it's okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Cool. Thanks, guys. So yeah, there's actually has been lots of research done where that practicing gratitude actually reduces the amount of stress that we can deal with. So we'll have the same amount of stress that we have every day, but we become much more resilient to it. And so things like your blood pressure will come down, you will live a longer life, you will be happier. There's all sorts of physical things that also come out of it. And the other thing about gratitude is we all function on different frequencies, and like attracts like.
So when we're in that place of gratitude, what happens is that because we are being grateful for what is around us, we automatically attract more things to be grateful for, versus when you're functioning from a place of frustration or scarcity, you attract more of that. So I think that is one of the key things to remember. And sometimes it can be really difficult. You can be in a really bad situation. And I was actually thinking about that this morning. A little while ago, I had invested quite a bit of money on a course that I was going to. It was down on the coast, which means it was going to take me like an hour and 20 minutes to get there. But I had planned my whole day out. Everything was going smoothly. I got on the highway, and as I got to Durban, there was the hugest traffic jam, and I was not going anywhere. I was stuck. And I was like, no, feeling that absolute frustration. But then I managed to flip it. So instead of feeling frustrated, I switched it across to, you know what? Because of conscious choices I've made in my life, I actually don't get to experience traffic jam like that. And so you can take a bad thing and flip it around so that it is something to be grateful for. It does take practice, and I won't lie, some situations are harder than others, but it is totally worth it. So yeah, gratitude, fun, free, and you can spread the stuff around like glitter, just by thanking the people at the shop and the toll gates, people who you encounter. It's an amazing practice, and it is so super beneficial.
So yeah, I totally agree. Practicing gratitude was a big mindset shift for me. I used to spend all day, every day running around in chaos, feeling like I was burdened by expectations all the time. And I was actually never grateful in any situation. I actually always felt like, oh, there's an expectation of me. I was resentful of most situations most of the time. And it took some very careful practice, but I very quickly noticed the difference between sitting in traffic and getting the hell in, and sitting in traffic and saying, oh well, and put on your favorite music and just staying belted out, let people sort of laugh at you a little bit. And why, yeah, it's fine. And there are things, Jacqui, there's a wonderful thing called gratitude rampage. Yeah. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you know how it goes when you wake up in a bad mood, and then you stub your toe, and then you kick the cats, and then something goes wrong and you drop your toes, and then the whole day's, I don't want to use that word is patient.
The PC version.
And where I'm going with it is this. Gratitude changes your energy to one of sort of almost welcoming the receipt of things. And if you think about yourself wanting to give somebody or do something for somebody or give somebody a gift, you really actually don't want to give somebody something if they're not going to be grateful for it, right? It's a crappy feeling.
It is.
So let's think about where we're going next, which is abundance, right? Abundance now is kind of leveling up from the gratitude. If you're not in a space of gratitude, it's almost like the universe, the creator, God, all the other people that we're all connected to via our energies, our personalities. I mean, you know that guy or that, yes, let's stick with the guys that walk into the room and the whole room's energy just drops, or else you get that person who walks into a room and just lifts the vibe and everybody feels a bit better. And it's subtle, you don't even know it, right? So we're all connected to each other like that, and we feel it. If you're not in that space of being open to receiving things, of being open to joy in moments, you cannot then attract the stuff that you really want into your life. So why is that relevant to abundance? And I mean, this is a webinar about abundance, but we're not going to stop there. We're not just going to tell you what abundance is. You can go and look at lots of YouTube videos to find out what abundance is, because if you kick over a stone and you find a coach who'll tell you what abundance is, right? So, but in order to live in that space and be open to things, we need to realize that abundance is the belief that there is more than enough to go around of everything, not just money, but the air that we breathe, the food that we eat, the joy, the company, the government resources, whatever it is that you're in. That at time for me is a big thing.
Love is another big one.
Love.
Yeah.
So there is more than enough to go around. You don't have to protect it. You don't have to hold on to it. And it's a feeling. So living in abundance is having that feeling that I don't feel fearful that I'm not going to have enough of whatever it is that I want in that moment. And so abundance is not just about money. It is absolutely, money is absolutely in there, but it's a subset of abundance.
Yeah.
And so fresh air, time, love, beautiful experiences, all of these things, we have to train ourselves to be grateful for all the stuff that we have, and that doesn't limit you in terms of abundance. People think, but you know, if I have to be so grateful for what I have, then how am I going to have the motivation to get more?
Yeah.
Because you think that that puts some kind of ceiling on it, and it doesn't. It's just like I feel so much gratitude for where I am right now. It just makes me open for everything else that there is out there. So abundance is that feeling, and really is a feeling. It's a visceral feeling. The opposite of abundance is scarcity. So Jacqui mentioned that in the beginning. Scarcity is a fear. It's a fear of lack. It's a fear of things running out. It's a fear of things are finite. And we've been trained to think like that in the world. There's a scarcity mindset about everything, from governments and their budget speeches and their fiscal risks and all that kind of thing, to crazy shopping during coronavirus when you're actually in a scarcity mindset about toilet paper. But I mean, that's a real thing.
It's true.
To going for a job interview and being on it shortlisted and being really, really super worried that I'm not going to get this, and then there's no more jobs available. There are so many examples of scarcity around us. And when you feel that, oh, let's just say you're really uncomfortable about where you are with money right now, it's not coming to you like you wanted to, and it's going out the wrong way as well. And that feeling that you get when you swipe your card at the teller at the spa and you're actually not sure if it's going to go through or not. It's that, and you feel it in your body. It's like you feel the adrenaline come up. It's a fear response. It's a fight, fright, freeze kind of thing. So in order to train yourself for abundance, you've actually got to learn what that feeling feels like when you do feel abundance. And you don't have to do that with money to start off with. You can do it with sitting outside in the sun on a beautiful morning and just hearing the birds, seeing the ever-growing blue sky, the sunlight and everything, and feeling, this is wonderful, this is amazing. And that feeling like I'm right now in this very moment, because we're only ever here in this moment. Yeah. There is enough. And I want more people to experience it. So it doesn't even stop at there is enough. It's there is enough for everyone. Isn't this beautiful? That is also a feeling. So if you compare that to how you physically feel when you're at the spa and you're not sure if your card's going to swipe properly or not, to that, what you're aiming for to attract abundance is to train your body to know what that feeling feels like. Once you understand and you identify it, I can make my body feel like that again by thinking about abundant thoughts. Okay.
That programming again.
Yeah, that programming. So when I'm feeling that way about swiping my card, I'm thinking about other things that I have lots of, like lots of love, lots of warm blankets on my bed, whatever it is, lots of hot water in the geyser when I get home, whatever it is, whatever it is, but it's reprogramming so that you learn to be on that frequency or that vibration. Okay, so creating abundance means moving out of the mindset of scarcity and aligning yourself with the feeling and the energy that there is enough. There's enough. Okay. Once you start doing that, and the basis of that is gratitude, once you start doing that, what happens is it's almost like you're sending this message out to the universe to say, I'm resonating on the same frequency as all that money out there. And therefore it comes, right? It's not voodoo stuff and it's not woo-woo stuff. It really does. You don't just sit on your meditation pillow and think abundance, abundance, abundance. And when you're like, oh, look, there's a pile of money in my lap. But it just, that kind of feeling guides the decisions that you make. It guides the choices that you make. It guides the people who are attracted to you because they think, oh, that person's got the most amazing energy. I want to work with that person. Yeah. And then opportunities just open for you. It's amazing what happens when you change that mindset and you're open to abundance, to receiving things. Yeah. So how do we do that? Gratitude. Daily practices? Gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude. So gratitude is my big one, obviously. The second one that I want to add to that is the saying a prayer or a blessing. So this one for me is a big game changer, guys. And in fact, I did bring a copy of the one prayer with me, but I won't find it. And all it is, and I mean, we've all had that feeling, like Bronwyn was just saying, when you go to the spa, you sort of like tentatively hand over the card, in the pit of your stomach, you've got it's a physical feeling, that reptilian brain of ours kicking in. And what I've started to do over the last couple of months, which I've shared with Bronwyn, is that every time money comes into me, or whether I receive a discount, whether I have received a gift, I've been paid my salary, whatever it is, I just do like a little mental prayer, like, thank you so much for this, and I appreciate it, and like you just have this moment of gratitude for it, but so there's a prayer attached to it. And then similarly, when I'm paying my bills, or I go and I buy my coffee at the shop down the road, whatever it is, again, just a little blessing, like, thank you that I have the money to be able to, like, to share, to receive. Yes, exactly. And it's amazing how, and it doesn't have to be a huge, big thing. It's just a small moment of like recognition of receiving and gifting. And that for me has also been a big game changer the last few months.
That is right. That is so right. It was for me as well a big game changer, especially when it came to the end of the month and paying bills. And I think Gabby Bernstein actually mentions that as well in Super Attractor, or one of her books, where it is, you sort of make a little ritual around it, and you sit down and you make the space beautiful, and you're appreciative, and you say, I'm so grateful that I can do this. And you send the money out with an intention and an energy attached to it, which is a good energy. It doesn't feel bad. It feels so good. I know that I was super, super grateful during this COVID and lockdown here in South Africa to be able to pay everybody I needed to pay in full. There were lots of banks and the Labour Department was saying, oh, you can pay your employees less and let them claim from unemployment. Or schools are saying, oh, if you really, really can't, we understand. And banks are saying, if you need a holiday on your payments. And we just decided, no, we've got the money and we want to pay it because the energy it's putting out there. And during this lockdown period, we've had amazing opportunities open up for us, and it's just, it does become a practice. Something that you do every single day. So absolutely visualizing, daily practices, gratitude, the visualizing, dismantling beliefs. We can't talk about for very long here because firstly, it's a very personal thing.
And it's heavy.
It's
deep.
It's deep, and it's kind of how long is a piece of string, but that fear, which is the opposite of abundance, is driven by a set of beliefs that you've adopted from your environment, from probably in the womb already. And there's some people, depending on who you speak to, who will say that there's ancestral stuff that's passed down in your DNA. But even if you're not into that, certainly from the moment you open your eyes, you have an environment around you that teaches you what is expected of you. And as a child, an impressionable child, you take it on. It weaves itself into stories. And especially around money, our parents, the generations of our parents, have had absolutely a scarcity mindset. Fearfulness about spending, jealousy about people and judgment against people, and negative beliefs about money for people who do have money.
Money is evil.
Money is the root of all evil.
I'm sure everyone's heard that one.
And the religious organizations come in with that, you must be humble, and that kind of stuff. So without getting into religion, it's just that there's so much shaping of it. So when you actually get in underneath the stuff that makes you feel fearful about money, I'm worried there's not going to be enough, I'm worried I'm not good enough, I'm worried I can't make enough, I'm worried that it's not going to be here forever, all of that stuff, those are coming from beliefs, right, Jess?
And there's a lot tied into that with, so not just abundance with regards to money, but your self-worth is tied into those beliefs. If you battle with weight or something like that, or your health is just all over the place, again, a lot of that comes out of those limiting beliefs, whether they are through what you have been told or what you have actually physically experienced as well. But there are ways of unpacking that and again reprogramming the brain.
So then it's being able to identify when there is something, and the best way to do that is actually to tune into your body. I know Mel Robbins does this quite well, but to tune into your body, to say, how am I feeling right now? Am I feeling, have I got goosebumps? Do I feel, is my heart rate elevated? Am I sweating? All that kind of thing, or what is the physical reaction? But moving into abundance, you have to break those limiting beliefs. So as long as you believe there isn't enough, there won't be enough. The flip side of that, with that neuroplasticity that we were talking about earlier on, is that you can change it. That is so awesome.
I know. And it's so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, when you get through the shadow work of the dismantling the beliefs.
Yeah.
It is amazing, and it really, really does work. It is what we are popularly calling these days the law of attraction. You'd have seen the book The Secret and all that kind of stuff. All the same thing. Guess what? We're all talking about it because it actually does work. It does actually work.
Yes, it does.
Should we move on?
Yes, yeah.
Right.
So the limiting belief stuff kind of flows right here into the mindset. And I mean, here you can go and Google about mindset, and basically positive psychology talks about having a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And you can go and Google, and there's hundreds of tests online that can have a look and give you an indication as to whether or not you have got a fixed or a growth mindset. But the trick is that you can have a growth mindset in general, but still have a fixed mindset about something like money, or something like weight, or something like self-worth. So it's not a cut and dried thing, this whole mindset thing, but there are lots of ways to help you unpack it and to understand it better, and again, to go and reprogramming all of that. What it is an indication of where you're at right now, though. And obviously where you're at right now is a culmination of what you have experienced through your life, and what you've been told through your life. Because obviously, as Bronwyn said, you know, you've got parents and other people who influence you on the way, and you may actually have been told something without having experienced it, but taken that on as truth, which is fun. Always fun, those ones, when you start to unpack them.
Is it yours thing?
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. But we can consciously, again, through the neuroplasticity, we can start to unpack these things, and we can start to reprogram our mind, which is super, super cool. So the opposite of abundance being scarcity. So here we've just got a few steps about how to stop living in that scarcity mindset. So this is just, I mean, this is just a drop in the ocean, but I want you guys to have something to go away with too, and I mean, something to think about too. There's a quote somewhere which I absolutely love, which talks about, and I can't remember what it is exactly now, but it always talks about like the way you talk to yourself now in your head quietly. Would you talk to anybody else that way? And if you wouldn't, why are you talking to you like that? It is horrendous. And I mean, we do. We're all like, oh, you're not good enough. You didn't do that properly. There's a lot of judgment involved there.
Never talking to your kids that way.
Exactly.
No,
yes. You would never do that. You would never. So that's that negative self-talk. And I mean, it's hard. Again, we've probably been brought up with this stuff.
Yeah, those highways.
Yes, yeah. But if you can catch yourself, and you can start to switch it, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can again train your brain. What's also interesting for me on this one is that I used to have a group of friends who, oh my word, they were such serious naysayers. They moan about anything and everything given half a chance. And I actually realized, like, when I was with them, how negative I felt about everything. And so I actually started to put some distance between myself and them. Or if I was with them, I would purposefully change the conversation. And it is amazing how things have changed. Like, for starters, I don't see them that much anymore, for my sanity more than anything else. But when I have still been around them a few times, by switching the conversation, it's amazing that you can actually guide people very gently, with love and compassion, to a different road, to a different conversation. So much so that when I am with this particular group of people, they now know that there's certain subjects we don't talk about. And it's amazing. And I mean, done all with total love and compassion. So that's the negative self-talk. Understanding the belief systems, which we dipped our toe into. Showing the appreciation and gratitude, again, dipped our toe in that one. Exposing yourself to new environments. So this one, again, another quote. I love quotes, in case you didn't know. You are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. Now, it's not just your kids, your husband, whoever, but who do you spend time with digitally online as well? Are you, I don't know, probably a bad example, but I'm going to throw it out there. Are you scrolling after Donald Trump and seeing what he's up to?
That's so true.
Yeah. Or are you following someone like Gabby Bernstein or Mel Robbins or Nick Pigeon or somebody else who actually really inspires and motivates you? So it's really worth having a little audit and be like, oh, okay, who are the top 5 people who you're spending time with and how are they influencing you? And then developing that growth mindset. And that, again, there's a lot of different tools that you can use to do that. But it is amazing how you can actually reprogram your mind from that fixed mindset through to a growth mindset. Super exciting.
Yeah, that growth mindset, fixed mindset thing, I think we don't realize how much that is ingrained in us. Also, in the generation that we've grown up in, we have been taught that something is either right or wrong. You're good at something or you're bad at something. Failure is the ultimate failure. We were not taught. I mean, well, I wasn't. I can't think of anybody who I know who was taught right from the beginning, it's good to fail.
Fail forward.
Yes, fail forward. And what we see, I mean, we've seen it in our careers where we adopt this almost neurosis, if you want, of wanting to prove yourself all the time and working far too many hours, working far too hard, because we've developed a perfectionist mindset. And perfectionism is absolutely a fixed mindset. And if you are a perfectionist, you're not going to allow yourself the freedom to explore this route to abundance, because you're going to think it feels unsafe. I don't know exactly what it is. I can't predict the outcome.
Can't control it.
I can't control it. I can't define abundance. I can't, you know, because I don't know exactly what it is and it doesn't fit into this box that's been endorsed by a bank and a government and a this and a that and it's got an, you know, it's a stamp of approval. So growth mindset is such an important part of growing as a person. So growing out of the limiting beliefs instead of seeing them as a safety zone, because they are not that. They hold you back. If you think of yourself trying to run and someone's got a huge big elastic band like you do at gym sometimes, and you think like, what is the point of this? I don't even do that exercise. Like, it just is so pointless. Why do I want to be held back at anything? But anyway, it is such a critical component towards change.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if are you happy with that? Okay. So this just kind of takes us into our last category, if you want, without wanting to say that we're categorizing things, because each one of these things is a starting point to a process. And they all kind of intertwine and they lead into each other. But let's go to prosperity. Law of attraction. Prosperity. And we're doing really well for time. I mean, minutes in.
Which is cool, because we can have some Q&A.
You can have some Q&A, So, technically speaking, with the sort of very patriarchal fixed mindset, access to resources that we have on Google, if you Google the meaning or look up the definition of prosperity, it focuses very much on wealth and a financial abundance, if you want to call it that. Money. Wealth.
Assets.
Wealth is whatever is valuable to you. And living in prosperity and living a prosperous life, like live long and prosper, right? I was holding on to that one.
Such a geek.
is when you have learned how to be grateful and it's become your dominant space. You still have crappy days. You still judge people. You still get really angry in traffic, but not half as much as you used to. So your dominant space.
We're all a work in progress.
Yes, we are all a work in progress. I don't even know where I want to end up because I've done so much work already. But anyway, onwards and upwards. Once you've become generally grateful, and you've become open to receiving things, a mistake people make is like, oh, look, I just received that. Thank you, abundance. I'm going to go back to my old way. And that's not what this is. You don't just, just go and fetch that, thank you, I'll have that little bit of abundance, and then expect it to last forever. This is not a scarcity thing. This is abundance, just like abundance is a feeling, it's a frequency, a vibration. To be prosperous, you need to be staying in that space for your life.
Yeah.
Right? And
Ongoing.
wealth, just like the seasons, just like the universe, just like the stars and everything that we get, like goes through waves and changes, so does life. Prosperity means that on average, we're staying in that space. And we keep attracting what we need in that time. So sometimes it might be money. And then it might be like, well, you've actually got enough of that. Now we want to bring health.
Yeah.
Or we want to bring love. Or we want to spread all that stuff. I want to change what I'm doing now. I don't need to be earning, because the thing about abundance as well is you don't just attract it and it just keeps coming. We've
give and receive.
We've got to be aligned in our actions with it. So you almost see yourself as a conduit. Like I'm a vessel for, like a conduit for abundance in the universe. I receive and I pass on. I give. It's like it's the whole. Yes, it's currency.
An energetic currency.
That's exactly what it is. That's amazing. So so prosperity is yes, the definition is about wealth, but wealth comes in so many different forms. So that longevity of the abundance that we're referring to in terms of prosperity is about certainty, right? It's that feeling of certainty. You don't want to be saying all these wonderful mantras out there. I am open to receiving money from known and unknown sources. All the other things, all the beautiful things, saying all the mantras, putting up all the positive affirmations. But you doubt it.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, you can't just say it.
You have to believe
You've got to believe it. It's got to be a feeling. So when you say that.
But you do start with saying it. And slowly but surely it becomes more real and more true for you.
So it's not just like, I said it.
Yeah. It's not an on-off switch.
It's personal growth.
Yeah.
It's spiritual growth. It's a certainty. After a while, you develop a certainty. You trust in the process, and you develop a certainty about that. And that is what turns this into prosperity for you in your life. You can be prosperous in many areas, not just in money, not just in the numbers themselves, right? So you can be prosperous in your alignment. And when we say alignment, it's like you're living your life with a certain purpose. You feel purposeful.
Yes.
Right? You feel like you're making a difference in the world. Your purpose doesn't have to be defined as I want to feed this many children in Africa, but it's going to be I feel like I'm doing good.
Yeah. And what's true for you.
And it aligns with my true values. As an example, I mean, there's a whole lot of shift going on the planet at the moment. We think about, for example, Black Lives Matter. But there's so many people who can contribute to movements like that, but you don't have to be a protester. You can be an ally. You can support artwork. There's a whole lot of things that you can do. So you can do good in the world in so many ways, but it must align to who you are and your purpose, right? So you can be in your alignment very prosperous. You can feel every day that although other things might not yet be quite where you'd like them to be, they are in alignment, and you feel prosperous in your alignment. Or you feel prosperous in your wisdom, and you might really prefer the universe to please make sure that card swipes properly at the end of the month, but you feel this wisdom around your life and your purpose, and other people come to you for that. And they seek your advice and they seek your wisdom, and finally find that you are prosperous in your community, and that's how you are impacting everybody in wisdom. It also could be in clarity. So you could be prosperous about your clarity. I am so aligned and so clear on my vision for what I want out of my life. Just thinking about my vision makes me feel prosperous.
Yeah.
Makes me feel happy and aligned and peaceful.
And you'll know that feeling.
Yeah.
You will know it.
And that's the certainty. But I might not have that much money in my bank account right now, but it's coming. It's coming. The opportunities will line up, and when they come, I will take them, and that's how I will find my path. So you can be prosperous in your clarity, and you can also be prosperous in your vitality, in your health and your vitality. your mental health, your
Yes.
physical health, your energy, the way you sleep, how deeply you sleep, the nourishment of your food, how much you appreciate that, being able to move your body, and enjoying that, being mindful about your vitality is also prosperity.
Yeah, and it could be more than one of the above.
It could be all
Yeah.
of the above.
Yeah.
And eventually it will be, because when you change, it's like you change the one carb and the rest starts spinning at the same
Yeah.
speed.
That
So
little ripple
everything
effect.
catches up.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, approaching abundance doesn't mean I've got to work on money straight away. That's why Jacqui started with gratitude.
Yeah.
That's actually where we start. And then the things start falling into place. That is a process. But eventually, these are the things that will help you to make that abundance turn into prosperity. So if you're battling, my advice or our advice is to find something that you do already, because there's something in your life that you're not only grateful for, but that you feel prosperous about.
Yeah, it's that, and you know it because it's that. It's like almost like your soul therapy. It's the words I like to use. It's the thing that you just, like, your mind, your body, your soul, everything is happy doing that. And it could be swimming, for example, or it could be helping out at a shop. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
But if it like makes you feel light and giddy and makes you feel like you've got purpose
And totally peaceful.
Yes.
Sympathy. I feel like that when I have my little one. When it's this
Yes,
thing that's on my
exactly,
lap, and I'm just like, I feel like our bodies don't have a
Yes.
barrier, just like we're one, and there's so much love. And in that moment,
Exactly.
I feel overjoyed and just spilling over with prosperity.
Which is a really great example.
And it's
Really
and
great.
knowing that how you feel in your heart and your soul and your body when you feel prosperous,
Yeah.
try and extend that. Try and extend that to being in your car in traffic.
Yeah.
Try and extend that to going to the shop and swiping the card and say, I feel so prosperous right now that I could pay for the lady in front of me's groceries. She's only got milk and bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's just that little switch up. And it starts having the snowball effect.
It does.
So align that feeling that you already know. Go and think about all of the, and you'll find that you have so many actually. You choose the most powerful one.
Yeah.
But align with that, and then trust that the more of that energy you put out, the more of it you're going to get back.
Yeah. Faith is a big part of this. And that's also a little bit where those limiting beliefs come in. And that's where it's also potential to unpack a little bit of like, well, if you don't have that faith, why not?
Yeah.
So
What's
there's-
stopping you?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Because you've probably had really good examples through your life where, and I'm going to use the word coincidence. I don't like the word coincidence because as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing. But it may have come across to you as a coincidence. You're like, well, I asked for that and I got it. Like, what a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Maybe you had a little bit of faith over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is quite something when you start attracting all of this stuff. One of the lessons I learned is that was like, okay, stop now. I've got enough. I started getting all this work and there was so much of it was coming. It was like, I actually have to say no to a few things. And that is also abundance.
And empowering.
And empowering. It's creating space in the right areas for other things to come in.
Exactly.
So I am the attractor of my every experience, right? If I'm putting out really, really frustrated, I'm running out of time vibes, I swear that day the traffic is really, really bad.
And the Wi-Fi won't work.
And all of these things.
Yes.
So living in prosperity, making it a long-term thing, right?
Yes.
And just by the way, the radiating out of this, you'd be surprised how often when somebody finds this groove, I don't know, you veer off the path sometimes, but it's easy to come back to it because by this time it's starting to look a little bit more like that highway. So sometimes you get off the beaten track and then you think, I don't like that feeling. I'm going to go back to the centering and the alignment. It's staying true and aligned. This stuff just comes, and then everybody else looks at you and they think, what are you doing differently?
Yeah.
That's not fair. How come you get this? How come you get that? And that's kind of your chance to get in there and start saying, look, planting little seeds to get people to think differently.
Absolutely.
So all of this boils down to intention, right? Intention and attention.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the other big thing is like we've thrown quite a lot of information at you, but a lot of this is just literally dipping your toes in.
Yeah.
But also, if you were to just take one thing and change one thing, so even if it was just take like the practice of gratitude and wake up every morning and just be like, before you even open your eyes, 3 things that I'm grateful for this morning, and notice how your day changes. Or just before you go to bed, like 3 things I'm grateful for today. So just even if you're taking 1 or 2 things, but you are consistent and disciplined and conscious about that small change, how it does become a snowball effect, that ripple effect. And then once that becomes habits, you then take the next one and the next one. And they're all like a muscle. So the more you use them, the stronger they get. That feeling that you were talking about, again, sitting in meditation, journaling about it, you concrete that feeling in your body. It is like, and you can't move it. It is there. If you know that feeling, it's so much easier then to function from that place. And those are like gems, absolute gems.
And so the way that this turns into attraction, the world doesn't change. The world carries on like it is on the surface, right? Yeah. But in a given moment, you make a different decision because you're coming from a different space. It's like this choose your own adventure. It really is choose your own adventure. And so when you've got that space of gratitude, when you've got that feeling of abundance, in a moment, you make a different decision that opens up new doors and new opportunities. And so you choose this adventure, which becomes opportunity after opportunity, as long as you're making the right decision about that opportunity that comes to you, a decision that comes from a space of gratitude and abundance and alignment with what your purpose is. You make the right decision, the thing comes, the opportunities come. Actually, opportunities are around us all the time.
We just don't see
we don't see them.
Yeah.
We don't see them. So we don't create abundance. We attract abundance. We don't create prosperity. We become prosperous because we are acknowledging all the abundance around us. Yeah. We see those opportunities now. Or we see the other stuff for what it really is and we don't choose it. So it really is. It's all around us, and it's a case, as you said, mindset. Yeah. How do you look at things? What energy are you bringing to looking at your opportunities when they come up? And you make different choices. Yeah. So you still have to take action. That's it. You don't sit there on a pillow and it starts raining money. That would be great, but not on this plane. Not on this plane. But you still have to take action. You still got to work. You still got to do stuff. But the way you do it and the choices you make are aligned with abundance and prosperity.
And it becomes easier.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So suddenly you're not working as hard. And that's also something that the last couple of months I've worked out. And I mean, it's interesting that it's also been through this pandemic, is that I've been working less and earning more. Just because of putting some of these and some other things into place. And I mean, you kind of think, well, what are the chances growing up? One of the things I was taught was your time is money.
Yeah.
But if I'm working less, how am I earning more?
And those tools, it's not like you build on them and then when you get to the stage of prosperity, it's like, I don't have to worry about the gratitude anymore. I still feel when I start feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and it's like, oh, I'm getting off that lovely, beautiful highway that I just built. I go back to those practices again. It's like it's a grounding element. It's like, go back there, go back to the basics, and everything comes right. It's like it swings wildly out of proportion, then it comes back.
I'll say it's a roller coaster. You just have to hang on.
So, yeah, that's kind of it for the theory.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think, should we tell them about the surprise that we have for them?
I think we should.
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think what we will do is we'll open up a bit of Q&A before we get to our offer.
Okay.
Should we do that? Or do you want to?
Let's do that. Let's do it. If I can work out how to do it.
So guys, think about it. If you guys have any questions, please just pop them into the chat box so that we can answer any questions. If of course you do want to actually ask a question, please put up your hand and we can always unmute you as well. But otherwise, put it into the chat box.
Unmute yourself and just start talking.
Yeah. Or that. That's cool. So to thank all of you for joining us. I know Friday nights can often be quite precious. I understand completely. So we are super grateful.
And well done to you for spending time on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have got a 30-day journal prompt, which is going to, it's going to give you a little bit of a, there's going to be some icky, sticky stuff. I'm not going to promise that it's all going to be easy. There will be easy stuff, but we've used these 4 puzzle pieces, I like to call them, and created this 30-day prompt. So we will email that through to you guys, and we would love for you to use it. It could seriously be a game changer, and we would love for you guys to share with us what you learn out the process too, because that would be really, really great. Yeah, but it'll be fun. I promise that.
And then I can't emphasize from my own experience, when I was seriously living from expectation to expectation, work, family, kids, work, family, kids, work, family. It's like there was not a Bronwyn. So I had this thing. It was Saint Bronwyn. I was Saint Bronwyn.
I was a superhero. I was a superhero. Yeah, I've got my costume in my cupboard.
So it was like I just did not have time for me. And you know what? I didn't know. I didn't know how to make time for me. And actually what started me off with that was Jacqui's journaling. It was a 21-day challenge, and every day you had to write on something. And because I'm so A-type personality, I will admit that I had a perfectionist mindset. I think it affected for many of my years. That's what attracted me to being a numbers person in the first place, because they're supposed to work. Numbers are supposed to work. And it didn't take long. It took 5 minutes. And then suddenly I was spending half an hour, but I had to find 5 minutes. That's all I needed to do was find 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And Jacqui gave me a beautiful journal to start off with. And now
that helps, by the way, guys. A beautiful book and a beautiful pen.
Yeah.
Because then when you pick it up you just like,
it's beautiful.
And you want to write.
And one of the things that I teach my clients about money is make your money beautiful.
Yeah.
A wallet that you love, make it organized, make sure there's no crap in there, like slips and broken stuff. But the journal, get something beautiful, whatever blows your hair back, sparkly, glittery. I like pink. It just and get yourself a journal and do the challenge. So when you receive this on email after this from us, do it. Start off with 5 minutes. Before you know it, you're doing 30 minutes of free writing, and you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And that's it. It's a great thing, but it creates for you a new habit.
Yeah.
Which for me was incredibly hard to find, and that was the way I found it, and was the start of fantastic things to come. So,
and I think, so I've been journaling on and off for many, many years, and I think for me the really cool thing about journaling is that often you think you understand something, but once you put the pen to paper and you take the chattery, I call it the monkey mind, take that chattering brain out. And you just free writing, and again, it's also a bit of practice to get to that place, but you do get there. You'd be amazed at what pops up, and that's cool, because it's stuff that you didn't know was holding you back, like insights that you didn't know, and suddenly it's there, black and white in front of you, and you're like, I can't believe this stupid thing has been holding you back this whole time, and now you can take action. Now you can fix it, move forward. So journaling is incredibly powerful. So it is a 30-day challenge, but it does have a little sneaky bit at the bottom to continue to make it more than 30 days. And it's been done that way on purpose. But you'll see when you get it.
And you'll see when you get it.
Yeah.
So then I've got a really awesome question here, which I'm actually dying to answer. Okay, so the question is, do your partners also believe this? How did you get them involved in this mindset? So I'm going to take this one, but Jacqui's also got an interesting story here. But because I asked Jacqui the same thing, it's like, does your husband buy into this? Because mine, like, I'm battling to get him to see. But let me tell you what, it didn't matter to me initially. I said to him, I'm going to do my thing, and you don't need to know what it is, and you don't need to understand what it is. You just need to know that I am journaling so that I can understand some of my thought processes. And that was enough for him. He was happy. But you know what? I would start sneaking these things into conversations with him. So he was working, he's an engineer, he's working at one of the big, now one of the few ones left, the big listers. And he was just not enjoying his job at all. And he was in an incredibly negative mind space all the time. Now, I had been doing some of this work already, and initially I got really irritated with him about his negative mindset. But I kept it for myself, and I started sneaking these little thoughts into our conversations when he was whinging about it. That was like, oh, wow, I agree, it's so crappy. Imagine if you could rather do that. Imagine if it was different. It's like, you know what, if you could walk out tomorrow, what would you do? If money was not an issue, what would you do? And over a period of months, I won't be honest, it didn't happen overnight. Over a period of months, he started talking to me more about imagine ifs. And when I could see that he was really bought into this idea that there was a different way, he might not have believed that it was going to happen in this lifetime, but he had actually reconciled himself with designing in his head an alternative way of living.
Yeah, he acknowledged
that if he had a choice, it would be this way. Then it was, well, you know what, then I gave him a podcast to listen to in his car, and I said, please just listen to this. It was one of the Abraham Hicks at the Law of Attraction podcast. So I carefully found something that I knew would appeal to his logic and his testosterone and his maleness, because he doesn't buy into my woo-woo stuff. But I just framed it in a way. So I respect that about him, but it's about mindset. So I sort of just gave him something to listen to, and it was specifically about money, because I knew that would hook him. It wasn't the spiritual stuff, it wasn't the alignment stuff, it wasn't abundance, it wasn't that. It was about money specifically. And it was about negative thoughts. And if you keep thinking negative thoughts, you're going to keep getting negative stuff. And so I almost primed him. I'll be honest, I totally manipulated the crap out of him. But where we are now is an opportunity came up during COVID for him, where his boss said, well, we're going to be retrenching a whole lot of people. Do you want to take voluntary retrenchment? Ordinarily, that question would leave people devastated. Yeah. And you know what? He's like, yeah, I'm in there. This way, I don't just lose my job because they do a whole long retrenchment. There was a really, really good package that was coming out of it, and he has been wanting, because he had allowed himself to think of this alternative, he actually started thinking about different things that he could be doing if he didn't have to go there every day to work. And so he took it, and now he is starting to get all of his own clients onto this new software system that he's designed. And because I was doing so well financially, I could help him with that. So we've kind of done it together. And he is a different human being. He is a different person.
Yeah.
So do they believe? Yes, he does believe. Now he believes. I had to lead him on the path. I will be very honest. And you know what? It's actually, I don't know, maybe we need to find a guy who can talk to guys about this.
And there are loads of them, believe it or not.
Yeah. So that they're like, oh yeah, testosterone club. Yeah. But they do actually get there.
Yeah.
They do get there. Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know me, I'm actually a Kundalini yoga teacher as well. And the one thing that really stuck for me during my 2 years of training is that I had a husband and wife teacher, and it was mostly women in the class as students who were doing their teacher training. And so on one occasion, I think there was no other men other than our teacher. And he was such a beautiful, gentle soul. But he just, the one day, and I don't even remember what the conversation was about, but he was just like, you know, if there is something in a family that you want to shift or you want to change, it's the mother, the woman, she's the one who has to do the change. And if she does, everything else will slowly start to shift as well, which is exactly what Bronwyn's example is. And I'd actually almost forgotten about it. And then I was listening to, and I think it was Kemp, who does a lot of trauma work. And he almost said the exact same thing word for word. It was like, no, if you need to make a change in the family, the mother has to change, the woman has to change. And when she changes, everybody else shifts. So yes, it's a subtle thing, but it is there. And I mean, your story is a really great
Yeah,
story.
and
Because also, if you think of the timeline, it's not actually that long.
No,
really
it's not
isn't.
that. It was about a year.
Yes,
It's about a
exactly.
year.
Yeah.
And that's true. We are birth givers. We are creatrixes. I mean, that's what we do. That's what the feminine energy is.
Yeah.
It's creation.
The conduits of change.
It is. Yeah. We're a super powerful being, aren't we?
That's why I've got the superhero thing in the back of my cupboard.
So do you wanna talk a little bit more about our?
Yeah. Does anyone have any last questions? We're gonna quickly switch across to our other surprise for you guys. So if you do have any questions, pop them into the chat box.
And we'll keep the chat. If it gets a little bit late, we will see the chat and we'll just pop you an email with our response.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, you guys can also just message us privately with emails, whatever. That's also cool. Okay.
Oh,
The fun stuff. Don't you just love this picture, guys? I love it. I think that her facial expression is just fantastic. So, with Bronwyn's expertise in finance and as a financial life coach, and mine as a life coach supporting women, we have brainstormed this really cool idea. So it's a 30-day abundance challenge. And like we said, you've literally dipped your toes into the water. This 30-day challenge is now the dive.
it's intense. It's intense. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
But it is fantastic.
Yeah, and it is going to be a game changer, guys. It really, really will be. And a lot of the stuff that we, like just mentioned that, and we've given you guys some tools. Again, it was very fast, so you will get a recording so you can go through, and we are available for questions and things too. But this 30-day challenge will give you guys a chance to actually take those skills, take those tools, and start to use them and understand them a lot better, so that you can live beautiful, abundant, prosperous, happy lives.
And what is so incredible about doing a challenge with a group and being led with coaches who have firstly lived, walked the walk and talked the talk, been there, been to all the scary dark places, done the belief stuff, is having a group of women do this together, as well as people to support you on your journey, is actually really, really incredible.
And accountability is a big part of this.
Because sometimes, like, you hit a block, or you just don't know, you don't understand the belief, or you think something and you think this is going back somewhere that's really uncomfortable and I just need to speak about it or talk through it. Or you think, okay, I want to do this. Abundance. Now what?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Journal daily. About what?
Yeah.
We got you covered. We do. So look at this. Right. Done.
There's a lot of information.
Information.
But it's cool. Okay, so it is the 30-day challenge. We're going to have weekly meditations for you. So one on gratitude, one on abundance, one on mindsets, one on prosperity. And of course, once you've got them, they'll be yours forever. The challenge itself. And we've got, there's a whole lot of tools that are all woven into this. And we can't actually even put the complexity of it in this, but this is how we have best packaged it.
So it'll be like 30 days, it's like 4 weeks plus a few days.
Yeah.
Each week we'll be focusing on one of the building blocks, one of the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
So that's kind of themed. So in that week you will have a masterclass with both of us.
Yes.
A meditation theme for that week.
Yeah.
Which will fit in with busy lives. It's not like
yes.
sit there for an hour, okay? It's not like that. It's designed for women who live these hectic lives, who need something intense.
Working moms.
Yeah, working moms.
Both of us.
Who need something intense to shift it, just to get this momentum going, get the change going, right? Yeah. So a weekly masterclass. And if you can't make it, it'll be recorded, so there'll be recordings on it. 4 weekly meditations is a theme which you do. We will encourage you to do it every day. You can do it twice if you want. And then a really awesome, exciting actual challenge. It's called the 30-Day Prosperity Challenge. It is going to blow your mind what you actually need to do with money on those days. Yeah. It's all about the money.
So you have a challenge in a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, and it's mind-blowing.
Cool.
Even when we were setting it out, it was like, oh my word.
Yeah.
I don't even know But sheep,
It's a game changer.
It is a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all of this is going to get done by a private Facebook group. So private membership only.
Safe space.
Safe space. We get to know our sisterhood.
Yeah.
So we have a sense of community and support. We know how other women are feeling, because that often gives us so much more power.
Yeah.
To know that we don't, and
You're not alone.
yeah, you're not alone, and other people have experiences they can share, and ideas, and exactly those questions about the men in our lives can come through in the group.
Yes.
We will watch that group like a hawk every single day. So somebody's got a question, we're there to support.
Yeah.
So you get the masterclass, but you also get support from us, and hold you accountable. So if you're supposed to be posting something that day, because you'll have to post something every day, and you haven't, we'll be after you. Hey, you need to do this. Also, you'll get daily journal prompts, as well as I said, the accountability. Yeah. 2 extra bonuses. All right.
At least 2.
At least 2.
Yeah.
2 categories.
Yeah.
We're also going to have a new moon ritual.
Yeah. Which is going to be super fun.
It's not woo-woo.
Totally.
You're not going to be required to dance around
without your knickers on,
or anything like that. Or
unless you want to. If you
maybe
want to,
light a candle. Yes, what? But it's just about aligning with the energy of a new moon. It's about setting new intentions. It's like setting a new direction for your life and saying, I really want to spend time with these intentions right now. So we're going to have a special, just for us, little ritual. Yeah. Okay.
And if you've never done it before, this already ticks one of the boxes that we spoke about experiencing something new, which is cool.
Yeah. So we'll do that on the 17th, because that's the new moon.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we're running this from the 1st of September, I suppose I should have said. Also Spring Day. Yes. Spring Day. And then you're going to get extra tools. So one of them, for example, is a prosperity tracker. Yeah. Okay. So there are these other things that you're going to get. So all of this stuff, if you were to work with us individually, would actually come to quite a lot. Yeah. But we feel that firstly, it's tough at the moment. Times are tough. Yeah. We feel quite called to share this with women. Yes. It's August. It's Women's Month here, or it's Women's Day this weekend.
Yeah. It's Women's Month.
It's Women's Day.
I'm celebrating women all the time.
Celebrate, yeah. But it is a really critical time for us women to start feeling our power and stop being dependent on people financially and economically, and actually saying, I've got this. I'm going to be the one who's going to be the change. Yeah.
And to just be happy.
Yeah.
To find that happy.
So, yeah, we're going to have to charge for it, but we're not charging anything near what we would have if this was one of our individual one-on-one consulting clients. This is why we've done it this way. So if you're interested in this, pop us an email, which we have to charge just because it is going to take a bit of our time. The masterclasses and the daily time, all that kind of stuff. So we're giving up other clients that wanted to be able to do this. But so there is a charge, but you get great value from it. And if you're interested in finding out more, please pop us an email. Yeah. You can email Jacqui at jacksmayer1@gmail.com and just say in the subject 30-day challenge. Yeah. This is who I am. I'm interested. Tell me more. Where do you live? What are your circumstances? And then we can take it from there and see how we can help you. Yes. Right? Yeah.
And you are going to be getting, like, say, a copy of this recording, so you don't have to scrabble for that pen and paper because you will have the email address and all of that. Yeah. So don't panic just yet. but very seriously, guys, it is an investment in you, and I think that is the way to see it. But like I say, we can obviously also chat if there are constraints. Please just contact us. Let's have an open conversation. Yeah. And maybe that is a way for you to see some abundance as well.
Yes, exactly.
An opportunity.
So open yourself up to receive. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So working on changing this mindset sometimes feels like a lifetime's worth of work, but you have to start somewhere.
And guys, it can be like freaky, uncomfortable, like run bolt for the door kind of feeling. It really can, but it is worth it. It is worth the investment.
You are worth the investment.
And 30 days, guys, actually goes so quickly. Like before you know it, 30 days will be up. Yeah. Yes, it requires a commitment every day, but if you're investing, that means that you are ready and able to make the commitment. Yeah. and it'll totally be worth it. Totally be worth it.
And
I
it'll
promise you
totally
that right
fit in,
now.
and it will fit in with the busy lives.
Yeah.
And it is going to be such a game changer for you.
Yeah. Well, that's also why we chose the Facebook forum, because at least you will get to it in your day when you get a chance.
Yes,
whether it's waking up early before the rest of the family or waiting for them to go to bed, whatever.
Oh, you got
Hiding in the
stuck in the
bathroom.
traffic. Yeah.
Hiding in the
Got
bathroom.
stuck in the traffic.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You don't make the most of your time.
Mm.
We're super excited about it, but also we love this webinar. This
Yeah.
is so incredible. So thanks, Jax.
Yeah, thank
This
you.
is so cool. Thank you to everybody for joining us.
Yes.
Again, just want to say, if you've got questions, you've got comments, we're here.
Yeah.
Just pop us an
Give us a
email.
shout.
Follow us on social media.
What we can do, maybe just go back to
Our Instagram handles
Yeah.
are on the front page.
There we go.
All the way back. So there's Jackie's at Life Coach Jacqui, and
Yeah.
I'm Bronwyn McCallum. And yeah.
And we have been tagging each other, so if
Yeah.
you have one of us, you should be able to find the
Have
other
the
one.
Right.
Okay, so guys,
Cool.
any last questions? Is everybody happy? We're not seeing any more questions in the chat.
And if you are committed, or if you don't have the time in September to do it, if it really, really works well and we get feedback, we will do it again.
No, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. In fact, I kind of think it's the kind of thing that we could easily repeat again. So we can
Yeah.
obviously keep you on the mailing list,
Yes.
which is perfect.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate
We
it.
really do. Your time is worth a lot. And
And it's a Friday night.
it is a Friday night, and super glad that you chose
Yeah.
to spend it with us. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Right.
Ron.
So,
Thanks, guys, everybody.
go forth and prosper.
She's going to go there again.
Go there again.
Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful evening and a beautiful weekend. Eh?
Bye, everyone.